Have you ever felt like you're performing your life, not living it? Like you're following a script, smiling, saying the right things, doing what's expected. But deep down, something feels off. You look around and think, this isn't me, so why am I acting like it is? Carl Jung had a word for this mask we wear. He called it the persona. The version of ourselves we create to survive, to fit in, to be liked. But behind the persona, something waits. Your real self, your whole self. And the longer you hide behind the role, the more lost you feel. You're not yourself, you're playing a role. Carl Jung explained Hook. Emotional opening. Have you ever felt like you're performing your life, not living it? Like you're following a script, smiling, saying the right things, doing what's expected. But deep down, something feels off. You look around and think, this isn't me, so why am I acting like it is? Carl Jung had a word for this mask we wear. He called it the persona, the version of ourselves we create to survive, to fit in, to be liked. But behind the persona, something waits. Your real self, your whole self. And the longer you hide behind the role, the more lost you feel. Jung believed that much of our suffering comes not from being broken, but from being divided. We've split who we are into pieces. The acceptable parts get shown, the rest buried. The persona is not evil. It's not fake. It's a survival strategy. As children, we learn which parts of us are rewarded and which parts bring rejection. So we adapt. We shape ourselves to meet the approval of parents, teachers, friends, society. We become the smart one, the nice one, the funny one, the helper, the strong one, the achiever, the quiet one. But here's the price. The more we identify with the role, the more we forget who we are without it. You're not born a role. You become one to belong. Jung warned that if we over-identify with our persona, we risk losing touch with the self, the deep, integrated core of who we are. And that disconnection leads to emptiness, even when life looks good. Burnout from constantly performing anxiety when the role no longer fits, depression when your soul feels silenced. Maybe you've had moments where the mask slipped, a flash of anger you didn't expect, a burst of sadness you couldn't control, a strange sense that you're not really here. That's your psyche asking, who are you when no one's watching? Jung believed that the goal of life is individuation, not perfection, but wholeness. Bringing all parts of yourself into awareness, making peace with the sides you've hidden. You are more than the version of you others approve of. You are more than what is easy to love. You are joy and fear, confidence and insecurity, wisdom and confusion, light and shadow. And wholeness begins when we stop trying to be someone and start being real. So how do we move from role to reality? Start small, not by burning your mask, but by noticing it. At work, are you the one who never says no? With friends, are you the strong one who never shows struggle? On social media, are you performing a life that doesn't match your internal world? These aren't flaws, they're clues. Ask yourself, what part of me did I abandon to be accepted? Who am I when I'm alone? And do I recognize that person? What makes me feel most alive? And when did I stop doing it? You'll find that many of your answers trace back to early experiences, when your true self clashed with someone else's expectations. Maybe you loved to draw, but someone laughed at your art. Maybe you were sensitive and someone told you to toughen up. Maybe you had big dreams and someone said, be realistic. So you adapted. You hid the parts that felt unsafe. But Jung taught that those very parts, the ones buried and forgotten, are the keys to your wholeness. He called them the shadow, not because they're bad, but because they live outside our awareness. And we project what we can't accept in ourselves onto others. Ever felt irrational anger at someone who's free-spirited, loud, or bold? That could be your shadow, the part of you that once was, but no longer feels allowed to be. The persona and the shadow are opposites, two halves of a divided self. Healing means allowing both to speak. Individuation isn't about becoming something new. It's about returning to what's been waiting. Here's what that journey might look like. Reconnecting with forgotten passions, no matter how silly they seem. Admitting truths you've been suppressing, even to yourself. Letting go of the need to be easy to love or impressive. Saying yes to what your soul longs for. Saying no to roles that suffocate you. This journey is not easy. It's slow, it's layered. Sometimes it's lonely, but it's also liberating. You begin to live in alignment with your truth. You begin to feel whole. Not perfect, but whole. You no longer chase approval because you've made peace with your own reflection. You become someone who can look in the mirror and say, there I am. And in a world full of performance, that is radical. So if you feel tired, disconnected, numb, maybe the real you is trying to be heard. Maybe the silence isn't emptiness. It's invitation. Invitation to slow down, to listen, to shed what isn't yours, to remember who you were before the world told you who to be. Take one small step today. Do something you love with no goal. Say what you really think just once. Be quiet when you feel loud, or loud when you're usually quiet. Because in those moments, the real you returns. And each time you show up as yourself, the mask loosens. Until one day, you realize you're no longer pretending. You're no longer performing. You're simply home.